Alright, what's up guys? So today I'm going to show you how to change the spark plugs and ignition coils on an E46 M3. Alright, so for the spark plugs I just went with the NGK laser platinums, and then I'm going to be trying out these Mishimoto ignition coils. So haven't seen any reviews on these, so we'll see how good they are. So these are the tools you're going to need. Say 3/8 ratchet, 10mm for the beauty cover bolts, a 10 to 12 inch extension to reach down to the spark plugs, 5/8 spark plug socket, an Allen wrench, which I'm not quite sure the size, but it will be in the description, flathead screwdriver to pop off the ignition coils, and a torque wrench. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is just remove this little air filter thing. It's going to give us more access to the cylinders right here to take out the spark plugs and ignition coils. So first, you just got to undo these little tabs. You just twist them about 90 degrees and it'll pop off. There should be 3 of them. Once you do that, this piece will just slide right out, just like that. Put it to the side, take out your air filter. And then right there, there's just gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 Allen size. Okay, so once you take those 4 screws off, you're gonna wanna unclip this from this. So it has this little sliding mount right here. All you're gonna do is just take it and just slide it up. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but I already did this side. You see how it works right there? Just goes right there. It's supposed to have a clip, but I guess this one was broken. You can see it clips into that hole. So just slide it off just to get this out of the way, then you'll be able to pull this off. Okay, so once you have that off, you're ready to take off this beauty cover. So these are all 10mm bolts. There's 2, 4, 6 of them. So get those off, then you should have access to spark plugs and ignition coils. Then you're gonna want to unplug this line right here. Just squeeze it on both sides and it should pop off. Just like that. Now be careful, I believe it's fuel in there. Now you just move that to the side. I got a paper towel because I don't want to get that stuff anywhere. See, it rotates from this side, so you can just move it over the air box. Intake manifold, sorry. Then take this off. And this should come right off just like that. Then just move that over. Then put the oil cap back on. We don't want anything falling in there. And now you have your ignition coils right there. Spark plugs will be under. So next we're just gonna want to pop off all of these ignition coils. Mine are pretty stuck, so I'm just using a screwdriver. Just pop it in there. Just like that. See, some of them are stuck, some of them aren't. There you go. Then just lift this up all the way and you'll see it lets this little connector loose. Just push it back, pull it out. Then you have access to pull out the ignition coil. Then the spark plug will be in there. Now I like to do one at a time so I don't get lost or sidetracked. So what I'm gonna do is just take out this spark plug, put in the new one, put the new ignition coil back in, then move on to cylinder 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so this is where we need the socket. So you are gonna need an extension. Might help to have a wobble. So we're just gonna put it in there, get the socket, get the extension on the ratchet, and just loosen it and take it out. Okay, so right here we have the old one. As you can see, it is a little moist. The old ignition coil. Then here's the new spark plug and new ignition coil. I'll have everything linked below until you can get these, and along with the sizes that you'll need, all the tools and whatnot. So yeah, let's throw this bad boy in there. So you don't want to strip it. You're gonna want to get it started by hand slowly. Just put it in there. And I will have the torque specs in the description as well. So I'll get back when it's time to torque it down. So the torque specs for the spark plugs is going to be about 22 foot-pounds or 30 Newton meters. As you can see, I changed it to Newton meters. It's 29.8. So Newton meters, foot-pounds, doesn't matter which one you use. Just make sure it's torqued down good. Now for the ignition coil, it does have a specific orientation. So if you take a look, it has these two little notches right there. Now this little rubber piece is going to sit in between those. So you just pop it in there, make sure you connect it. Now push it all the way down, make sure it's seated flushly. And then again, make sure this little rubber piece is in between those two notches. Then once you have it down enough, push this down once the connector is inside, and it'll lock the connector into place. And there you go. We have one down, 5 more to go. $22. There you go. Now here are all the cylinders. So this is 1. Looks a little moist. 2, it's not that bad. None of them are really bad. I've seen worse, like covered, fully drenched in oil. Although, take a look at number 5. Has some white around the little nut area. And then this looks like maybe some rust or some burnt oil. This is by far the worst looking one. And then number 6. Now when you're putting in the new one, you don't want to touch this part because this is specifically gapped for the car. Now if it gets messed up or out of place, the car could have a misfire. So now let's throw this last ignition coil in and should be done. Now once you got all of them in, I would suggest just going one by one and pushing them down, making sure they're all properly seated. If they're not properly seated onto these spark plugs, then that could also cause a misfire. So you just want to make sure they're all good. So now let's put this beauty cover back on. Put the filter back on and start the car. So once you have the beauty cover back on, don't forget to put this line back. So we're just going to go this way. It's just going to clip right in. There you go, just like that. So before putting everything back, I would suggest giving the car a start to see if it's running good. That way, if you have a misfire, you could go back and see what you did wrong. So let's try it out. Just let the idle go down. So it seems to be running good right now. Nothing noticeable yet, but we are gonna have to drive it first to make sure it's actually doing good under pressure. So let's put everything back and take it for a drive. Also, don't forget to put this little weather strip back. It goes right here, it'll go under these, and it'll just go right along this little area. So once you put the air filter back on, just remember these are just little push tabs. Put that, then don't forget to put this back into place, just slides. Pretty sure I broke both the clips, but it's okay, it'll be good. So it's on there now. Now make sure this is tight, this is on there good. All the beauty cover bolts are on. Now that's everything we did.